When it comes to scary clowns, I think two automatically come to mind: Pennywise the Dancing Clown and Ronald McDonald. The second one obviously being the worst. But there is another clown who has graced the horror genre, and I think he is fast becoming another cult character. This particular clown wears a black and white suit. He has a disturbing white face with black lips and black teeth, with a little black hat on top of his head, and his name is Art the Clown. Now, Art is the antagonist of the movie Terrifier, directed by Damien Leone on a budget of $35,000 and was released in 2016. And in a lot of ways, Terrifier feels like an 80s grindhouse movie. The movie opens with a horribly disfigured woman giving an interview on TV, which we are watching on an old CRT television in a dingy basement of some kind. In the interview, we find out that the disfigured woman was attacked by Art the Clown a year ago on Halloween, and she survived when Art was shot dead by the police. As the TV interview continues, we see Art the Clown putting on his makeup and choosing his weapons of choice that he carries around in a bin bag, before he kicks the TV, smashing the screen, and ventures into the night to claim his victims. And to be perfectly honest, that is the plot of the movie, plain and simple. Now, I will say right now, if you're not into gore, this movie probably isn't for you. The kills are very, very disturbing, and like I said, very, very gory. It's almost as though, well, it is as though the characters are just introduced to be killed off. Don't root for any of the characters in this film to survive, because it's not that kind of movie. I don't think there's one kill in this movie that isn't disturbing, and every single kill in this movie is intended to shock you, so be prepared. There is one particular scene in the movie, and I'm sure that if you've seen it you will agree with me, it's probably the worst. It involves a scene where a woman is being hung upside down by her legs as Art the Clown saws her in half, and believe me, there is a lot more detail to that scene that I could have included, but have chosen not to. And the man behind the mask is David Howard Thornton, who really does a fantastic job at portraying Art the Clown in a really unnerving way, especially when you compare it to some of the other clowns that have come and gone over the years. Another reason I think David Howard Thornton did a fantastic job with this character is because Art the Clown does not speak. He is a mime clown. He is deadly silent throughout the movie, so David Howard Thornton had to think of other ways to bring the character to life, with the way he moves and the way he looks at his prey and the way he plays with his kills. Saying that, one of my favourite scenes in the movie isn't actually a gory scene. It's a scene where Art the Clown is sat in a cafe staring down one of his later victims. And it's really unsettling the way David Howard Thornton presented himself in this scene. He did a really good job at getting across this menace without actually speaking any words. He did it with just a stare. Art the Clown has no one-liners like Freddy Krueger would have. He has no creepy dialogue, and in many ways is a lot like Michael Myers, but even more silent. Even when Art is injured, he does not make a sound. He doesn't scream or groan. You can't even hear him breathe. But unlike Michael Myers, Art the Clown is somewhat more comical when it comes to his movements, his expressions, his mannerisms. He's somewhat more theatrical when it comes to his kills. And this killer clown horror movie does not hold back in any way. When the blood flows, it flows in buckets, and with each kill that Art the Clown carries out, the next one always seems to be more disturbing than the last. And this movie is a low budget movie, and I think in many ways it does show, but I think it also adds to the charm of the movie. The special effects in this movie, involving mutilation, decapitation, and many of the other ways that Art the Clown kills his victims, do look fake, but at the same time they look kind of real. It's that kind of middle ground between real and fake, which ultimately make you turn away from the screen sometimes because it's just that disturbing. Now, I'll admit I'm not normally a fan of over-the-top gory movies, but for some reason I kind of like this movie, and I think the main reason why I like this movie is because of the mystery surrounding Art the Clown. Who is he? What is he? Is he human? Is he a demon? Is he a supernatural entity? The mystery surrounding Art the Clown isn't really explored much in this movie. We are still left wondering what exactly Art the Clown is. All we know is that he can die and then come back, a lot like Michael Myers. But we do have a little bit more insight into the character of Art the Clown that actually came to light before this movie. Before Terrifier, the director of this movie, Damien Leone, brought Art the Clown into the spotlight when he made a short horror film called The Ninth Circle in 2008.
Please stop!
And then in 2011, Art the Clown was the star of another short film named Terrifier, not the movie we're talking about at the moment. And then in 2013, these short films starring Art the Clown were incorporated into a feature-length anthology film for Halloween. and that film was called All Hallows Eve. And in this movie, Art the Clown was played by actor Mike Gianelli, who stepped away from the role after this film. And he did play Art the Clown really well, and he did have a slightly different look compared to the version of Art the Clown we know now, played by David Howard Thornton, but the menace of the character is still there. Now, we've seen that the critics of this film either love the film or hate it. There doesn't seem to be a middle ground, and I think the main reason for that is because of the lack of the story and the lack of explanation for who Art the Clown is. But sometimes I think that works in the favour of the horror film. I think if the character is a mystery, then it kind of works better. It's once you start unravelling that mystery that the character seems to be less interesting somehow. Like I said, this movie is just a series of brutal kills, one after the other, and those kills are very disturbing and relentless, and like I said, you will be disappointed if you are rooting for the victims of this movie to survive. It's not the kind of story that has a Laurie Strode from Halloween or a Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street who go up against a killer and survive by the end of the film. It is simply an exploitation horror movie, and the kills come fast and often. But it kind of works, and I do like this movie, and I believe it is perfect for a dark Halloween night. Especially if you're looking for a horror movie that will terrify you, keep you on the edge of your seat and utterly disgusted for 86 minutes long. If that's what you're looking for, Terrifier is perfect for you.